It's getting pretty exciting after seeing the lineup of characters coming in version 3.4. We have PHAINON, TRIBBIE, Sunday, and Sparkle arriving in Phase 1. Then in Phase 2 we will be getting rerun banners for Firefly, JINGLIU, and Blade. And don't forget, there will also be a collaboration event featuring SABER and Archer. So that's a total of 9 character banners. Even though there are plenty of choices, you will need to spend your jades wisely to make sure the character you go for truly benefits your account. Especially with the limited number of Star Rail events and how fast the meta changes, stellar jade income might not be enough for F2P players, or even small spenders. In this video, I will help you find the right choice by giving each character a full rating along with the reasons behind it for this 3.4 patch. Before we get started, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button. So let's jump into the video. Alright, let's start with the Phase 1 banner featuring the new character PHAINON. He is a physical destruction unit with extremely powerful damage output. On top of that, he comes with a variety of self buffs, increasing his attack, damage, and even providing solid sustain once he enters his transformation state. PHAINON also has the ability to implant physical weakness, which makes him a flexible option for clearing endgame content, regardless of elemental requirements. His kit is fully centered around being a hyper carry, which means he won't synergize well with most sub-DPS characters in the game. As for his energy system, it's quite unique, similar to Acheron and Facial. You need to gather 12 core flame stacks to activate his ultimate, which are generated through his own skill usage or by becoming the target of his allies' skill or ultimates. That means before transforming, he heavily relies on his teammates, but once he enters his territory state, he literally leaves them behind. Speaking of territory, during this phase, only PHAINON can act and fight. All buffs previously granted by his allies still remain active, but he can no longer benefit from the new action advance effects or certain dynamic buffs. The playstyle intended by the developers is clear. PHAINON is designed to deliver devastating damage in a single ultimate, and he is supposed to be easy to use. This is also reflected in his technique, which allows him to perform instant AoE kills in overload content, whether it's simulated universe or divergent universe. So overall, he is a powerful unit. Now, even before the Amphibious region update, we already had a good idea, thanks to certain leaks, that some characters would become highlighted units, receiving major animation budgets and promotional focus. Among them are the Herta, Castris, and PHAINON himself. And after seeing his animations and a glimpse of his upcoming trailer, it's obvious that PHAINON is one of those characters that Hoyoverse wants players to pull for. That said, even though he is a hyper carry capable of unleashing massive burst damage in a single move, he's still a one-man show. If you watch a lot of anime, he's that kind of main character who does everything alone, while his teammates give it their all and still lose, only for the MC to steal the spotlight. Because he leaves his teammates behind, he can no longer benefit from critical buffs, action advance, crit damage bonus, or follow-up damage boost. And once his ultimate ends, if he fails to defeat his enemies during that time, it becomes difficult to recover, especially since PHAINON does not immediately get his turn back after territory ends. So outside of specific modes like Memory of Chaos, his value can drop significantly in places like Pure Fiction or even Apocalyptic Shadow. Plus, he is launching in a game where HP inflation happens very fast, without the help of action advance, which is arguably one of the most broken mechanics in a turn-based system that values speed and turn economy. PHAINON could start struggling to nuke enemies in just few patches. Yes, in terms of raw damage output, he might top the charts among 3.x era DPS units, but if you already have strong characters like the Herta, Castris, or even Mayday, I would honestly suggest keeping PHAINON and saving your jades. So for my personal rating, if you already own several strong 3.x DPS, PHAINON's pull priority is medium to low, but if your account still lacks a strong main DPS, I would say his value jumps to medium to high. As for the 4-star characters in this banner, I believe both Tingyun and Yukong offer a lot of benefits for PHAINON. Not only because Tingyun can directly target him with her skill, but also because Yukong's buff, which can also be targeted at PHAINON, can have its duration extended when PHAINON activates his ultimate. This allows him to carry over massive crit rate and crit damage buffs from Yukong as a setup for his transformation mode, so both of these supports are actually quite good for PHAINON. Next up, we have another brand new character, this time from a collaboration between Star Rail and Fate Stay Night. SABER is a wind destruction unit with a pretty straightforward playstyle. Her strongest damage source lies in her ultimate, which currently has the highest energy cost in the game. although it still uses the traditional energy mechanic, meaning it can be supported by teammates like Sunday or even Huahuo. There are several ways to help her charge his massive ultimate, one of which is through core resonance, a unique mechanic built into her kit. Each time she consumes 1 unit of core resonance, she gains 8 fixed energy. Additionally, after casting her ultimate, she gains access to enhanced basic attacks, which allow her to restore skill points for the team and also let her immediately take action afterward. So yes, Saber is a front-loaded DPS, but unlike PHAINON, she continues to fight alongside her team and greatly benefits from action advance buffs. Saber can indeed deal massive damage, and she serves as a solid win DPS option, especially if you are not satisfied with the performance of your current win characters. But before you think about skipping her, keep in mind, collaboration banners like hers are very unlikely to return in the future. That said, the banner will stay available for around 2 to 3 patches, so you still have time to think it through. But don't let the fear of missing out pressure you into spending all your stellar jades for Saber, especially if you don't really need her. Yes, she's a great DPS, but that doesn't mean you must pull for her just because she is part of a special collaboration. Power creep is very real in this game, so it's important to always spend your jades wisely. That said, if you are a fan of Excalibur, or you simply like her design and character, then it's totally worth spending on her banner, and that gives her high pull priority from a personal enjoyment standpoint. From a meta perspective, if you are looking for a strong front-loaded DPS, particularly to cover the win element, and you don't have Facial or Blade, then Saber's pull priority is medium to high. As for the 4 stars in her banner, Hanya, Lynx, and Luca, unfortunately, none of them are particularly relevant in the current meta, so if you aren't pulling for the 4 stars, this banner probably is not worth it. Now I know the next new character will be free to obtain in the near future, and that's Archer. But what if you want to vertically invest in him? Archer is a Quantum Hunt character who relies heavily on his skill to contribute to team-wide damage. But keep in mind, he's extremely skill point hungry, because he can spam his skill multiple times in a row until enemies are defeated, or as long as your team's SP pool can sustain it. Despite this high SP demand, Archer compensates by increasing your team's SP cap by 1, and also regenerates 1 skill point every time he performs a follow-up attack. This makes him highly synergistic with Harmony units like Sparkle, who can restore up to 4 skill points and also increase the team's SP cap. Adrenaline 1 gives you extra comfort while playing, removing a lot of pressure around SP management. With E1, after using his skill 3 times consecutively, Archer will recover 2 skill points instantly, making his playstyle far more sustainable. However, I personally think it's even more worth it to invest in his signature light cone instead of chasing Eidolons, especially since technically you can get it for free if you spend around 200 pulls in the limited banner during patch 3.4, so in a way you can actually get Archer and his signature light cone for free, as long as you meet the requirements. However, if you don't plan on pulling on any 3.4 banners and still want to build Archer as your main DPS, then I recommend manually pulling for his signature light cone. So in summary, the pull priority for both E1 and signature LC is at medium level, mostly because there's a very solid F2P light cone alternative, which is cruising in the Stellar C. Now let's talk about the rerun banners, featuring Sunday, TRIBBIE, Sparkle, Firefly, Blade, and JINGLIU. To be honest, the most worthwhile rerun banners in patch 3.4 are not the DPS characters, they are actually the support units, particularly Sunday and TRIBBIE. Starting with Sunday, he's one of the most versatile supports in the game, able to fit into a wide variety of team comps. You can pair him with Aglia, PHAINON, or even older units like Blade, JINGLIU, and Jingyuan. He not only provides a ton of buffs to your hyper carry, including attack, crit rate, and crit damage, but more importantly, he grants 100% action advance, which is arguably the most powerful buff in a game where action value determines everything. What makes his kit even better is that his action advance also applies to Mema sprites, making him more impactful than other supports. And to top it off, Sunday can restore energy when his ultimate, making him perfect for traditional energy-based DPS units. All of this makes Sunday is an essential hypercarry enabler, and in my opinion, he remains highly relevant and valuable, especially if you don't already have him. So if you haven't pulled for Sunday yet, his banner deserves a high pull priority. Next up, the most worthwhile rerun after Sunday is definitely TRIBBIE. Right now, she's easily one of the most broken support units in the game. She's able to deal damage while buffing your entire team at the same time. Thanks to her ability to quickly generate her ultimate in AoE situations and consistently trigger follow-up attacks whenever her allies use their ultimates, her 30% vulnerability debuff can maintain nearly 100% uptime. And because she is a slow unit, the buff duration from her skill lasts even longer, which means during her turn she often only needs to use basic attacks, making her extremely skill point friendly. She also has plenty of light con options, with one of the best being Dance Dance Dance, which she can easily abuse thanks to her frequent ultimate usage. So honestly, her signature light con is not even necessary. That said, her pull priority is just as high as Sunday's. If you don't have TRIBBIE yet, I would absolutely place her at high pull priority. Now Eidolon 1 for TRIBBIE is also very much worth going for. It allows her to deal true damage equal to 24% of the team's damage while her ultimate zone is active. So if you are interested in vertically investing in her, I would rate her E1 pull priority at medium to high. Meanwhile, the other RERUN DPS units are not as impressive this time around. Firefly has started to fall off due to her difficulty finishing off enemies quickly after a weakness break. Jingliu's position as a top ice DPS has also declined, especially now that the Herta has taken over the title. Even with the buffs she's getting in this patch, honestly, pulling Jingliu at E0 post buff still is not worth it to me. As for Blade, while he has gotten stronger over time, he's a character you could accidentally obtain if you lose a 50-50 on a limited banner, so I personally don't recommend spending Stellar Jades specifically for him. Because of that, I would place Firefly, Jingliu, and Blade at a medium to low pull priority. Now when it comes to Sparkle, she has seen a resurgence in value, especially with Archer's release, since the two synergize very well. While she's still a strong support unit, there are two other better supports running in the same patch, namely Sunday and TRIBBIE, which kind of pushes her down in priority. So I would say her pull priority is at a solid medium level, higher than the DPS reruns but lower than the top tier supports. So that wraps up the who to pull guide for version 3.4. Disclaimer, everything here is just my personal opinion, and my goal is simply to help those of you who might still be unsure about your pulls. But of course, feel free to disagree and share your own thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear your take as well. I hope this video has been helpful, and if it has, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.